42 pouring in my cup. In the session real loud, good cash, yeah, you know we about to roll it up. Bring the bottles to the session, big tab, go ahead and just live it up. Get lit one night, after that, we can go ahead.
What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Ikon, and we're here on 95 South Podcast. Once again, I want to thank God for this opportunity to be able to come on here and to be able to have this opportunity in this platform. I want to introduce my counterpart, my ace boom cool, my brother from another mother, my man, Mr. Personality himself, Jacob the Great in the building. What's going on, brother?
Jacob the Great in the building because God is great. So we're in the building one more again,
Yes,
as
sir.
we
Yes,
said
sir.
from the backwoods of Carolina, one more again. And man, we have an honorable and a household name this afternoon, and a person that'll help get your soul right. I have known about her for quite some time, and when I'm in South Carolina and I get a call in Baltimore, Maryland, Jacob, man, can you see if you can get her on your show? And start sending me videos in my messenger and stuff. Jacob, would you look at this right here? Brother, we need her on your show. I said, okay, I'm gonna reach out to her people, because we're in connection. So here, Dr. Banks is with us today. How are you?
I am awesome. Thank y'all so much for having me. I'm amazing. Can't complain.
Mi-
God is amazing.
Right, Miss, get you up out your seat, Miss. Check the touch all the way down, Miss. Turn the pew over, Miss. Make the pastor go into detail of what he don't want to go in detail about. And, that's you. That's you. So, who is Dr. Banks?
Dr. Banks is a genuine soul. She's very passionate about everything that she does. She's very humble, very inspirational, love inspiring people, love motivating people, giving people hope, love telling my story to give people that boost to keep going in life, no matter how hard it gets. Also, Dr. Banks is also known as Songbird Quandra Banks, also as myself, my real name, Quandra Banks. So I'm just somebody who's looking and willing and loves serving God's people and just spreading his name to let people know who he really is and how they really can have a better life just choosing him. So that's who I am. That's
And
who
that's
she is.
amazing in itself. That's so amazing, and I'm so honored to be having a conversation with you. Because you're not the easiest person to get up with, because you're so busy. You know what I mean? And I will say this. So, when did you realize that you had a gift of song, a gift of praise, a gift of worship, and when did you realize that you see the tears rolling down people's eyes when you're speaking, when you're singing, and all the above?
Well, I knew that I had the gift of song when I was a little bitty girl. I would literally go in my bedroom and I would grab a brush and pretend that it was a microphone and I would just sing, 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 sing. I wasn't the woman who grew up in church. I went to church, but I didn't find Christ in church. My mom introduced us, as well as my siblings, two brothers and a sister, as well as myself. She introduced us to Christ inside of a trailer park. And that's how we knew who Christ was. And she introduced us to worship. And that was the process of my life, beginning finding out who God was, who the Son was, the Holy Spirit, worship and things like that. So just as a little girl, I would literally just walk around just singing. I didn't really know what I had, and I never knew that it would literally inspire millions of people. Like nobody could have literally told me, but just seeing what God has done now in my life and, just going viral, just looking back at that little girl like, wow, like you really have changed and transformed a lot of souls. But I remember being the little girl that I was. I would say, God, I want to inspire so many people. I want to inspire millions of people. I want people to know who you are. So not even realizing, as I got older, learning who Christ was even the more, like God really expanded my life. He expanded me in the foundation that he has given unto me. So it's amazing. And then just seeing the tears roll down people's face. Like I tell people, it has to hit me before it can hit anybody. Like if it don't hit me and if it's not a feeling that God gives unto me, then it's not gonna hit nobody else. So that feeling has to hit me first before it can hit anybody else. So and I realize that's where the tears come from, because number one, is real, it's authentic, it's not a game, it's not counterfeit. So it's my life, it's what I go through, what I have went through in life, and what I'm still overcoming. So that's where people feel they get that feeling, because it is God and it's everything that he created on the inside of me, and I'm just a willing vessel to be trusted by him, to just be that vessel that changed the lives of other people. And it's amazing. It's not an easy journey, because you deal with so many things from day to day, betrayal, you dealing with the fact of people not wanting to support you, just so many things in life. But it still should never stop who you are and what God has called for you to do, and for the task that he has given unto you for this journey. So I honor God and I bless him, because there's nothing that I don't take credit. I don't even want the credit. He'll literally tell you that there's absolutely no credit, no glory my way. I literally give everything to God, because it's him. It's him. It's
Mm,
all him.
So I'm gonna say this, and Icon, I'm gonna let you tap in because I know you got something to say, my brother. No doubt. So upon reading, going on your website and just scrolling through and just doing my research and pulling you up on the Google search. So a lot of people don't get the eye from this person right here. Miss, what have you done for me lately? Call me me, call me Miss Jackson if you're nasty. Miss Rhythm Nation, the high rider rock boots. Miss Michael Jackson little sister. You so you caught the attention from Janet. You know what I mean? You know,
Right.
uh Penny from Good Times. You know what I mean? So from catching that type of wind from Janet and her raising her eyebrows when she find out who you are, what was that experience like?
Oh, it was amazing to know that a legend literally responded and shared information that I literally done years ago. Even though the video was out 2017, she didn't see it until what, 2020.
Hmm.
So I mean, it's amazing just to have witnessed and experienced Janet Jackson. I'm talking about this somebody I looked up to, like her heart. She has an amazing heart. So, and I'm very big on things like that. So many people ask me who inspire you and things like that. Well, a lot of people, not a lot of people inspire me, and I don't say that in an ugly way, because a lot of people can have talent with no heart. So I really cling to those that really have the heart of God, and really very transparent and authentic. So, but Janet, it was amazing to know that a legend see another legend in the making.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Icon?
So, as far as you're traveling around the country, around the world, where's some of the places you've been to that that stick out to you the most?
um I would say when I went to Ohio, that was a different experience. It's just, you have some people that engage with who you are, and then you have some people that just literally look at you like, wow, like this is a different breed, this is a different person. But so it's just, I would say Ohio, I would say New York, just just experience different areas was amazing for me. Just sightseeing, because I grew up in a small town where it's really nothing, not a lot of people. So it was the experience for me, just traveling to different areas that you have never experienced and been. So just sightseeing different areas is amazing to me.
Yeah, I understand because I've been to all 48 states. Well, 48 out of the 50 states. So I've been everywhere probably 10, 15, 20 times. So I know exactly what you mean by going to different cities, different states, experiencing different people. I actually tell people, and they kind of look at me crazy. I say, actually, like Kansas, Indianapolis, it has like the best vibes to me for some reason. I don't know, it's a different type of vibe in Kansas City, Missouri, in Indianapolis than anywhere else that I've been to. I like Houston a lot because it reminds me like of another like Atlanta. But as far as like the vibes I get when I go through those places, for some reason, I always feel comfortable for some
Right.
reason.
Yeah. And
Columbus.
that's me. I'm very big on that too. Like just, because certain areas the vibes be off and the energy be
Mhm.
off. So that's something I wouldn't want to be around because I'm very big on energy when it comes to, different things like that. I have to protect my peace. And it's so many people I get invites, but just because people invite me does not mean that I rush to answer to those invites because everything that looks good is really not good. So
Yeah.
I just really wait on the timing of God, and wherever God placed me, that's where I'm gonna be because I know He already done opened up that door for me. So
Well, you don't have to say it, but like New York, Connecticut, Boston, I don't like them vibes. You don't have to say it because you might get invited back.
I
You
just
don't
don't like
want
the
to offend
cold. I don't
nobody.
like the cold.
But for me, just the vibes of it, the people. I always remember, I always think about Ghostbusters. I don't know if you ever watched Ghostbusters too when they was kids. When I was kids, and they had to when they had to try to bring the Statue of Liberty to get the good vibes or
Right.
whatever. And I was like, I always think about when I think about New York, like how they always talk about how bad the vibes been since back then. So I'm just like, oh wow, that's crazy. And you finally go there and see what they're talking about. But so when you're in the studio, like, what's your process? Do you have to listen to a beat? Do you write and then find a beat that attached to the song that you wrote? What's your kind of your process of what you go through?
So, um, so what I do is I get with my drummer, which is one of my producers as well. Um, so I hear something. I'm the type I hear it, and then when I hear it, I record it on my phone. I'm not a writer. I'm a flower. So it just comes from the dome. So whatever God gives unto me, I go back and write it down after I'm done recording it. And then I go to the studio and lay it down. Because by that time now I don't spend time. It's like an intimate moment with me. So, I really get in that mood, that feeling because if it hit me like I stated before, when it hit me, then I know it's gonna hit the world because it hit me first. So it brings that feeling, that feeling where it makes me cry, and when it makes me cry, I know it's getting ready to do damage in a great way. So that's how I literally start up anything when it comes to my music. Like I hear the beat, and when I listen to the beat, like it literally tells me how the song's supposed to go. So when I spend time with just listening to the beat, and then here goes God just flowing words through me, and then I just take it and I run with it, and I go to the studio and I just lay it down. Like I literally have so many songs right now. It's crazy that I have not put out yet. It's just the timing. The timing has to be right, and
Mhm.
whatever God gives unto me, at that moment. Like one of my latest songs, "Turning Around" for me. That's something that everybody can literally adapt to, because so many times in our life we feel like ain't nothing gonna happen for us. It feels like, God, why does it seem like I'm going through so much, and I'm pouring, I'm giving, I'm doing all these things, I'm doing everything that you have requested of me to do, but it just seemed like nothing is turning for me. So I had to literally apply those same words that I was feeding to everybody else to my own life. Like you got to speak those things as though they're not, but as though they were. So those things I had to literally speak out, and I had to believe what I was speaking, not just me speaking it, but I had to believe what I was speaking out. So I literally started speaking out, God, it has to turn for me. It has to turn for me. It will turn for me for my good. So
Mm-hmm.
that's something that I'm very big on, and I express to the people, like, just when you create music, create your story. Create what you really want people to grasp and feel. Nothing counterfeit. Like, I'm not gonna sing about something that I know that I went through or experienced. I don't want to sing. I don't want to put things out that does not match my character or who I am. Like, I will always stand in the way of the fact of who God called for me to be. Like, I could never mimic nobody else. I would never be like nobody else. I could never sound like nobody else. Why? Because God didn't design me to sound and be and mimic nobody else. It's only what he has created for me to be, and that's how I'm going to walk. Now, my life is going to get better and better and better each and every day. But do I just think about trying to sound like somebody else or be somebody? No, everybody else is taken, and I don't
And
have no desire.
it's funny you
In being nobody else.
Yeah, it's funny you say that is because I feel like when it comes to gospel music, it's different from any other genre of music. Because, like you said, it's about timing. I think certain songs, the best of you and we all fall down. And I think certain songs came out at the right moment when people in America needed that type of song
Right.
because they was going through certain things at that particular moment to make that song kind of blow up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because in the spiritual song or gospel song was not necessarily about the beat, about what I'm saying, the best lyrics. It's about that moment in that song, those particular words that said, what I'm saying, that makes people resonate and say, man, I'm going through this. Like you say, I've turned around, and you say certain things that click with people, that hit
Right.
home, and then make them feel a certain kind of way. So, like you said, you definitely got to tap in to your spiritual side and really not understand what God is this what you want. And you, like you said, when you're in the studio, you feel it.
Right.
This is the one because the way it made you maybe break down and what I'm saying, and have to really check, get into yourself more and be like and tap in with God and say, yeah, we don't, this is the one right here. You know what I'm saying? You might, plus if you let other people hear it, like your manager and other people, and they
Right.
go to weeping, then you really be like, oh yeah, I know this the one.
Yeah.
Everybody in the room.
Yeah,
You
that's
might have
it.
people that cry. You might have people in the room crying on you to cry. You know what I'm saying? You really know it's the one then. But yeah, go ahead, Jacob.
So I was gonna ask you about the song "Turning Around"
Hmm.
because I have listened to it like 4 or 5 times back to back,
Wow.
and so I always listen to songs that like that back to back because it's always something that I miss. You know what I mean? Um, I'm I might miss how you had the choir to come in and accommodate your sound, or I might miss how the production and the bridge on the breakdown comes in, or I just got to hear the riffs, the runs, the octaves, whether you singing first soprano or second soprano or first tenor, second tenor, or
Right.
because I'm a church boy, so I
Right.
listen to different stuff. So, but turning around is much needed. We're coming out the pandemic. It's not as bad as it once was, but it's still there. There's people who's battling these demons all the time, and whether it's from a toxic childhood, having a toxic mother, whether it's from having a father that was alcoholic that would beat them for no reason, or whether it is from child molestation or sexual assault or domestic violence. People got to realize that it's no way in the world that you can turn around by yourself.
That's
You
right.
know, you you
That's right.
you got to have conviction in your spirit. You got to ask God to guide your footsteps, and sometimes you got to just be in a space where God can bless you.
Yes.
So if you're not in that space where he's not going to bless you if you're not in the space. He needs your undivided attention.
That's right.
You know, and sometimes, a lot of times, the environment, the household, even the friends that we had for the last 25 years, it's a toxic thing about them that won't allow you to receive your full blessings. And
Right.
so Turning Around is a very influential song, and I think that song Turning Around, I think it's gonna be a lot of remixes to it. Like Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's going. I think I can see J Moss. You know, I think I can see my man Hezekiah. I can, I can definitely see Tamela Mann. You know, I can see Yolanda. So I can see my girl Kelly Price. So the song is very, very powerful, very powerful. So, what was it like on the studio breakdown and having that cadence on the track while you're in the studio, and how is the vibe between you and your engineer and you and your producer? Like, cause people don't understand the vibe and the energy between an artist and a producer, or artist and an engineer. It has to be at an all time high
Yeah.
for the song can come out, where it reaches that target market audience.
Right. Well, when I literally gave my producer the concept of what I was hearing, because how it started was I was literally headed back from a show, and me and my brother, we was in the car at that time, and I was just he had put on an instrumental beat off YouTube, and we was just listening to. That's something that we always do. We just vibe. And so we were just vibing, and I just went live. And
Hmm.
when I went live, we were just vibing. Next thing you know, and I said, bro, I said, I hear this. And then I started saying, I was born by the river in Atlantic, oh, just like the river I've been running. So I just kept on singing, and then how the beat was dropping, and I was like, it's turning around. It will not always be like this. So that's what was playing in my head. I'm like, wow, here goes a song right here. So I told him, I said, get the phone out, record it. And I'm just like, it will not always be like this. It's turning around. It will not always be like this. It's turning around. So next thing you know, we just started vibing, just singing. And at that moment, I kid you no lie, I had to literally stop singing the
Hmm.
song because I felt tears forming from my eyes. And it was something that hit my stomach. And the next day, I was in the car headed to get my hair done, and I put that same track back on, and I just broke. I just cried, and I was just thinking about everything. I'm like, God, where you at? Like, where you at? Like, I know for a fact this not the life that I'm supposed to be living. Like, where you at? I'm sacrificing. I'm giving. I spend time with you. Like, I'm your chosen one. Just, and so I just really started having that moment, and I just started singing a song, and I heard God tell me, sing the song. And when you open up your mouth, it's already echoing to the nation. They're
Hmm.
going to receive. So by that moment, God was really just putting the pieces together. And even though the song, it hasn't really hit the full mark, but I know it's on the way. It's a process because I know God is doing something, even when I don't understand it. Even when the enemy tries to throw all the attacks my way to try to send them my way to make me think, oh, he ain't doing nothing. This song ain't that. So I have to remind myself, God, you said this. You get every song that I have literally put out. God gave it to me. It's a story. Each song, from Worthy, from I'll Endure the Pain, to Turning Around for Me, from We Cry Out, to Push Come to Shove, Lift Him Up. Like, all those songs, Hard Times, every song that God has literally given unto me, it's a story. Something that I had to go through. And God literally created a song out of that. And like I tell people, what you listen to, what you're going through and what you're in at the moment, one of those songs are going to be relatable to you, if not all of them.
You're right.
Because each time that God has literally gave me a song, I know it's something that every individual have faced in life. And so turning around for me, that's something that everybody should look and understand and know, like, no matter what it looks like, it has to turn around for me. It has to get better, and it will be better. But it's according to my faith. It's according to me believing, because we serve a God of faith and he moves by faith. So it's according to my faith, what I believe. And like I tell people all the time, stop looking for people to believe in you when you don't even believe in yourself. I believe in me. I believe in me when nobody else believe in me. You know why? Because he believed in me before anybody could ever believe in me. And when he trusts me with what he has given unto me, that's enough. That's enough belief. That's enough belief. When God trusts me and when he believe in believe in me with giving me what he trusts me with, his sound, his instrument, that's enough. So it's according to how I operate and how I'm moving. People literally gonna look at how you moving. They're looking at the fact, do you believe in yourself? Because if you don't believe in yourself, how you expecting me to believe in you?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I walk. I don't care. It ain't easy. I'm not gonna tell no, but it ain't easy believing in yourself. Because number one, when you have people, when you're engaging with different attitudes and personalities and putting out stuff that you know you believe in, you got some people that's not gonna agree. You got some people that's not gonna get with you. Your sound may not be the sound that they're looking for. And then so here it is, you in a place where they ain't feeling that. So you start questioning your own self. Do I still want to do this? Do I still want to put music out?
Well,
But
can I ask you a question real quick?
Mhm.
So, because we kind of brushed over this, you a doctor, right? You a doctor. So, what are you a doctor of? What's your
Humanitarian.
a humanitarian?
Humanitarian.
Okay, so what kind of things do you do when it comes to that world? Like, what's
Community
your
outreach.
outreach?
Doing community work.
Okay, so in that in itself takes a lot of effort and time. So you probably seen a lot, you know what I'm saying, or been through a lot, just that alone. So trying to be a doctor when you have to basically not just minister to people, but you gotta help them on a different level, probably mentally, psychologically, all kind of stuff. And so and then to find time to still do the music when the gospel world, a lot of people don't realize the gospel world is just as much of a cesspool as the secular world.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So for you to go through all of that and to be able to do what you're doing says a lot about you. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
So, yeah.
Thank you. Yes,
And I just
it's a lot. It's a lot. Like you stated, man, people don't even understand what I go through behind closed doors. But and it have been moments like I've always tell people, when you are authentic and real with yourself, man, that you don't have to worry about wearing a mask. That's time consuming. Here it is. I gotta pretend to be somebody that I'm really not, and then I gotta continue to keep that up, and then over here deal with it. That's too much. That's way too much, and that's something that I will not do. If you can't accept me for who I am, then so be it. I can't continue to waste time in life worrying about how somebody feel about me or how they accept me. God accepts me. He's the only one that can change who I am. He's the only one that can take away what I've been dealing with, the things, in life. So, but I just show signs of love. I show love to people, and I meet people where they are, because there was moments in our life, and it's still moments in our life where we need God to correct and remove from us. So I don't care how old you are, what you got, your position, your title, there is still things that we deal with as human beings that we need God to correct and fix. No matter what the situation. I don't care how many awards you got. I don't care what they done gave you, what you don't work hard for. It's still things that we still need fixing in our life. And it takes time. The Bible said it's patient. The fruits, patience, meekness, kindness, love, all these things. That's how we have to walk. It's a process, and I was just speaking on this last night when I was literally on live, and I was saying, so many times we hear the word, but a lot of people really don't process the word, what you're reading. Like, it's a process to live like that. So we have to go through the process, not just reading something, but allowing it to hit our life and start walking in that direction. Will it be easy? No, because your mindset, everything has to grasp to that change.
You know what?
Easy.
It's crazy you say that, because I didn't grow up in like a spiritual or house that went to church all the time or forced you to go. You know, we went. I grew up. My grandma was a Jehovah's Witness. My granddad was Methodist. My mom was Baptist. So I was all screwed up. I seen all kind of stuff. So my thing was, as I got older, and I thought, you know, being around Christian folk is supposed to look a certain way and
Wow.
feel a certain way. So I was one of the people that was judgmental about certain stuff I was seeing. And oh, this is supposed to be like, but then as I started to grow in myself spiritually, then I started to say, like, it don't have to look the way people think. It don't have to look like how your grandmother and your great grandmother
That's
looked.
right.
Especially in this generation, these kids, if you're trying to minister to these young people, you better come to them, like you said, where they at. You better be real. If you come
Right.
trying to act like you just so perfect and you the next coming of Jesus, they
Yep.
gonna see right through that and they
That's
ain't gonna
right.
want to fool with you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
some of these kids, matter of fact, a lot of these kids want to know your story. If
Yep.
you've been through certain stuff, domestic violence or drug use or in the streets at one time, them kids gonna respect you more for knowing that than you being like, oh well, no, when I was a kid, I came out the womb saved. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like,
That's
yeah,
right.
they don't want to hear that. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right. That's
Yeah.
right. They want to hear different things like, I didn't have a father. My father was there, but he wasn't in my life. We have to just learn how to be real with them because we've been there. We've been there. So, like my biggest thing I tell them, like be yourself. Don't allow society to change you. Like be who you are. But so many people they've been going off trending, what's trending. So whatever's trending, that's the direction they want to follow into. But we still have to be that light. We got to show them, nah, this ain't what it is. This ain't what it is. I'm not gonna agree to something that I know that's not right. That ain't what it is. So it's our job to still be that leader to them. Give it to them the right way, be real, and still show them love, but don't be judgmental towards them. Because we don't fail so many times, still falling, still making mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
We don't
Yep.
do like I tell, we don't do everything right. We're not perfect people. We are imperfect. So of course you're not going to do everything right. I don't care what professionalism side you have. We're not going to do everything right. Why did they create editors if everything was right?
Yeah.
If that's part of if we're recording something and you want everything to be perfect, then why did you hire an editor? We don't do everything right. It's not for us to do everything right. We are imperfect people. So that's how we need to live our life. I'm not saying make excuses, but you're not God. He's the only perfect one. He don't make no mistakes. He's not a failure. Ain't nothing counterfeit about him. But he's the only one that's perfect.
Yeah.
So I could never mimic who God is, but I can be his servant in what he has called and designed for my life to be. He's the only one that can change me. He's the only one that can fix me. Can't nobody else fix me. And that's what's wrong with the world now. So many people are trying to fix people and are judgmental towards people where they're not even giving people the opportunity to even do the right thing, like to start over. So many people want to do better. They want better. But it's like other people just literally judging them all because of their past.
Well, you
And
see,
what
where
they
we at.
feeling.
We in the cancel culture. We in the culture where as an old school cat, I'm like, who can't cancel who? Who gave you the permission? Who sent down the letter saying that you got the right to cancel me? Cancel me from what? You know what I'm saying? The only person that can cancel me is God. You
That's
can't
it.
cancel me from nothing. You know what I'm saying? So all this people getting, oh, you can't do this, you can't say that. They'll cancel you. Who are these people? Do they have a meeting? Do they got a council? Do they have a weekly, quarterly thing they do and say, okay, here go the list, y'all. We're gonna keep this person, we're gonna cancel that one. What?
You know what? You know what, man? People too funny, man, and I just think that people lack compassion. People lack conviction of
Yes.
what somebody else been through. People in especially when it comes to our young people. Um, our young people are sharp. They have great intellectual skills, but our young people, they kind of reserve themselves from networking and dealing and building with people because of what they see on the news and stuff like that. They don't know who to trust.
That's right.
And so I think it's up to us as inspirational leaders, as in intellectual minds, and as spiritual peoples of God that's down here working in His venue. I think it's up to us to grab them and hug them
That's
and
right.
show them a way and open their mind and let them know that you can say it. It's okay. Like I ain't here to judge you, but let's compromise the situation and I give you my theory, you give me yours theory, and let's both come to one common ground where you can move forward. You know what I mean? So and I tell people all the time, man, I'm from a little small town in South Carolina. And so people always ask, man, how do you know so many people? I say I network with people, I meet them where they at. I don't judge them. I ask them how can I help, and I ask them, how can we cross brand? How can I tell my people about you, and you tell your people about me, and see if we can come to one common ground to reel all our people in together in one place. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so that's what it is. And I didn't ask you earlier, but you say you're from a small town. What city and state are you actually from?
I'm from Jefferson, Georgia. That's over there by like Athens, Georgia, Georgia Bulldogs. Maybe about
Okay,
15, 20
okay.
minutes away.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yes.
it's
okay,
beautiful.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it's
I know
beautiful.
exactly where you at.
I've
I
been
know,
to
I know exactly where
Jefferson.
you at.
Yep.
Yeah, I know exactly where you at. So and one thing about the small towns, and I tell people all the time, when I see somebody like you from a small town, and like myself, and like Ikon, and like how we network, how we know so many people, how we able to accomplish this and accomplish that. A lot of people have that small town mentality,
Hmm.
and they feel like just because they from this place, they won't get noticed.
Yep.
But there's been plenty of people from small town get without the small towns. We wouldn't know people like a Ray Charles or a Sam Cooke or Otis Redding because back in them days they made their money off the chitlin circuit, and that was nothing but small towns.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so
Yep.
and so the small towns really make the music world famous because
They
Mm-hmm.
without
really
the
do
small
because
town,
it's a lot of hidden talent. A lot of
right, right,
hidden
Yeah.
talent
right,
in small towns.
right, and so with you, um, you have your own production company or record label or cause you got a lot of inspirational kids, up and coming singers and musicians, even the older ones be like, man, I wish I can get up under her and work with her. And so how could somebody do that?
Well, you can literally go to my website www.quandrabanks.com or reach out to my manager, Dr. Ashanti Odom Pitts, or either go to bookquandrab@gmail.com. So those are the ways that they can literally reach me. And I literally told her, I'm like, man, Lord, should I do some features? Because, just being burnt in so many different areas, it will kind of pull you back a little bit. But I was like, man, I can't allow one person to spoil something for somebody else and give another person an opportunity to be great. And that's what I love doing. I love just being a blessing to people, giving people
Hmm.
opportunities. And, sometimes I'm like, God, you blessed me with these platforms. You gave it to me because you already knew I'm going to acknowledge you every time. I will never take credit. But, sometimes people, you give opportunities. I have given opportunities to many people and they never acknowledged me. They never came back and said thank you. And, at some point, the flesh part of you, it does do something to you. But at the same time, I'm like, God, thank you. God, thank you. Thank you, because you up to something. You up to something. But so I have to really just continue to just hold my head up and just keep moving, keep pushing, because having somebody like me where you never had a label, you never had instructions, you never had support in the beginning, you never had nobody to show you the music world, but just coming in and just dealing with somebody that you barely even know and you just trust, scared to trust, but you give your all and then they steal from you. So I went through a lot, and it put me in a place of being homeless. So I had to regroup from a lot of things. I
Oh my.
literally wanted to give up on music and say, you know what, I'm just about to go back to my nursing job because I'm a nurse as well. I'm a CNA. So I'm like, Lord have mercy. Nah, I don't even want to do this no more.
Well, let me ask you this now. So, I have a lot of artists from all different genres that send me submissions all the time, and a lot of them are gospel artists as well. So, are you taking any type of submissions from independent artists that you may want to sign up under you?
Well, I haven't. I thought about it. I thought about it, but I just haven't really put it into play yet. So
Okay.
what I've been doing now is just I create events. So I have an
Mhm.
event that's coming up December the 17th. It's called it's a worship experience because he lives. So that's something that I've been doing, even not just with music, because I said, I prayed and I said, God, use me in every aspect. Don't just allow me to sit in one place. So God literally just been showing me all my creativity, ideas, and things like that, and gifts and talent. So I just been taking it and run with it. But
Well,
soon, yeah,
when
man,
is your event gonna be at?
it's going to be in Latonia at the 3D
Latonia.
Church. Yes,
Okay.
admission is $25. I also have 3 more vendor tables available, going for $50, and VIP $60. Yep, and we're
Okay.
actually giving back to 5 to 10 families. We're going to be a
So
blessing to
let
five.
me ask you a question. Are you looking for press as well? For
Um, yeah,
okay. I'll be in touch with you for sure.
okay,
So, cause I'm in South Carolina, and
okay,
I is my partner. He's in Atlanta, and
okay.
so we'll try to plug some in. You know what I mean?
Okay, most definitely. I'm always looking for the promotion and just partnering with people. Like you can't do everything by yourself, and I don't try to. But you got so many people that's intimidated by who you are and the gifts and the talents, and they don't even understand people's heart. Like you have people that really have God's heart and
Mhm.
really want to see everybody win. And I think sometimes my team they get mad at me because of my heart and the way that people do me. Like, well, how do you handle with disrespect? Like I
That's
give
the
them to
story.
God.
That's the story of my life, Dr. Banks. Oh my
That
God, I
I
was
get
just
at the guy, and,
I
and
was.
I one thing I have learned, I can't allow people to make me go back to who I used to be. I done
Mhm.
came too far. So I just have to be mindful of that's the reason why I don't partner and engage myself with a lot of people or connect myself with a
You know,
lot of
you
people.
know, what my wife tell me all the time. She always say like, when a person does her wrong, like they just don't know they done mess with God's anointing.
Do you
So,
hear me?
so at the end of the day, when people do me dirty, you know what I say? I say, "Oh God, thank you for the blessing," because I
That's
already
it.
know when that
That's it.
person that I know don't have good intentions do me wrong. It
Yes.
happens every time. Like I,
Yes.
I, I end up that blessing to be so astronomical. I don't even see it.
Yep.
I don't be like, what? Because it's funny. I
Yep.
said, that old line, tell God your dreams or goals or whatever, and
Hmm.
if you want to make them laugh. So we never think bigger than God. We
That's
never
right.
do. I don't care how big we think we're gonna be or how big we want to be. God always has something way bigger than and
Yes.
one, it has a platform, not just the
Hmm.
money and the cars. I ain't even talking
Yes.
about none of that. I'm talking about the
Yes.
people you reach, the platforms. Me and my
Yes.
brother been doing this for 14, 15 months.
Wow.
And and the things that God allowed us to create, we got like 5 different other shows that's on the network. We have all different affiliates that we connected with that, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, over a 15-month period of time. And I tell people this, and I only say this maybe a couple of times on one of these podcasts. Me and him been brothers for 15 months. And I'm gonna tell you a secret. We've never met each other in person.
Wow. Oh, we be like that.
Now we've
It be
been
like that.
partners for 15 months now and never met each other in person. It's
Wow.
just that kindred spirit that
Yeah.
we knew when we met, we could trust each other and we knew what it was, and neither one of us had bad intentions. We never even had an argument. We'd get on the phone and talk about stuff, but we never even had an argument like, oh, none of that. You know
Y'all,
what
y'all,
I mean?
y'all haven't met in person, but y'all met in person spiritually.
Exactly.
Right.
And
Exactly.
see,
Exactly. Exactly.
that's what people don't even understand. That's more deeper and um more powerful than meeting in a physical way. When
Mm-hmm.
God connects you in a spiritual way through his blood, Can't nothing and nobody separate that.
Exactly.
That's right.
And that's the only way I would. That's the only way I would want it to be, anyways. A connection from God. When God connect me to somebody, He already know that I can trust who He connected me to. He already know they have a heart like mine.
Right.
And it's kingdom. Anything that I do is kingdom. It's kingdom work. That's it.
Exactly.
It's kingdom. It's all about what God wants me to do. It's all about Him. One thing I've literally tell people, when God brought me back from death because I died. 313, that's the name of my album. 313, The Awakening. I died March the 13th of 2019. When God literally brought me back from death, everything ain't been the same. It is not going to be the same. I went to heaven, everything. I'm literally getting, I've been working. I kind of put it on a pause, but I'm really ready for the world to really hear my story from start to finish. And experiencing death, my lungs collapsed and I went into a sudden cardiac arrest. They pronounced me dead. I was hooked up to every machine you can think of, being picked and sticked. I'm telling, couldn't eat, couldn't talk, couldn't walk. They told me my brain would not function properly again. They told me that I would never be the same. They told me I won't be able to sing again. Come on now. So I know my assignment. I don't need nobody. I don't care how you is. I don't need nobody to tell me who God is, what He have called for me to do, and what I'm supposed to be doing, because I have a relationship with Him. I don't have to have a relationship with certain pastors and bishops and apostles just for me to know who God is. I have a relationship with God. It's times where God will wake me up in the middle of the morning and tell me what color I need to wear and who I need to get on the phone and call. Like, they don't even really see the propheticness behind closed doors. I've been doing ministry before God even gave me this platform.
You speaking over here because you know what? It's crazy because that's my wife. That's how I get my word from God. Because you know you be so busy throughout the day. He really tapped in like that a lot of times when you moving and grooving. But when you lay down and about to go to sleep, man, sometimes I wake up 2 o'clock in the morning, and then God has given me an idea, and then I might call him the next morning, 8, 9 o'clock. I'm like, bro, I got another idea. You know what I'm saying? But it come off from God giving me that moment to be like, okay, this is what you need to do, because you know I got a creative mind. So you know I've been like that since I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? If I tell you these little things I did as a kid, y'all would have thought I was crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then it manifested into an adult where it gave, you know, being able to do things I do now or whatever. So it's probably like one of the things where I always had that. Now looking back, I always had that connection with God, even though I didn't know, because of the way I used to think. You know what I'm saying? I know people around me didn't think like that, my friend. That's why I was always quiet a lot of times to myself.
You was a different one. God created you to be different. God had your life to be what it was and what it is now, because He was going to get the glory out of your life. He wanted everybody else to see what you was around, what you went through, because He knew that He was going to take your life, take who you were and who He have called for you to be now, and turn it around. And they going to know that it was nobody but Him that done it.
Well,
that's the reason why there was moments of your life where you was quiet. People couldn't really grasp to you. They didn't understand you. They didn't understand why you would do the certain things that you would do. And it was times where you couldn't even explain to them because you didn't know yourself. All you knew was you were just doing it. You being and you didn't even realize that you were just being instructed by God. Even though you didn't really understand who He was, and you didn't grow up in church and stuff like that, but God knew. And see, with me, like, you know, people that's in Pentecostal culture, all that type of stuff, I didn't grow up into all that stuff. But it did not mean that God's hand wasn't upon me. Just because I didn't grow up in certain churches in different atmospheres, things like that, does not mean that God didn't call me. Does not mean that I'm not anointed.
So I can tell you
how you see me.
That's right. But
God sees me a different way. And because God see me this way, that's all what matters. God called me. You didn't call me. You didn't give me the anointing that I have. You wasn't there when I went through the struggles and the pain and the agony and the sacrifices and stuff, the bullets that I had to take for people that I didn't even know. You wasn't there. The mental breakdown when the enemy literally tried to take my mind. suicide thoughts numerous of times, writing letters to my family just for them to find me. Like, don't want nobody there. You don't know my story. So don't be intimidated by something that you didn't see.
That's right. You're right.
Stop
You're
being
right.
intimidated by the blessings. People see the blessings, but they don't know the pain and the things where it came from. And like I tell people, so many times we complain as human beings. We complain about pain. We complain about things that is the deepest that we go through in life. But you know what? Those things and moments in our life, it literally sharpens us. That's where we find our power at, in our pain. Because we know, God knows that it's a dark place, but at the same time, his light is right there, shining. And he already know that we're going to overcome it. He said the weapons may form, but they ain't going to prosper.
That's
You
right.
got to go through it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to endure it. How can you inspire? How can you have the talents and the gifts that I have given unto you if it don't have no shine to it? If it don't have no feeling to it? If it's not going to allow the people to come to me? How can you express yourself to people using the talents that I gave you when you don't want to go through nothing? So understand everything that we go through in life. It's a meaning. It's meaningful. We have to go through it. It's a part of the process, and it's a part of God's plan for our life.
Like, so you say that you went through that, you were sick. I just thank God for deliverance. 2005, I was living up north of Wilmington, Delaware, and I got really sick. So I came home and I couldn't even walk to my parents' mailbox. My daddy took me to the doctor immediately. He rushed me to the hospital. Come in the hospital, they hooked me up to a catheter. They ran some tests. They told my daddy, and my daddy dead and gone. They told my dad, your son has 11 liters of fluid on his body. He told my dad, he said, I'll be surprised if he make it 6 months from now. And this was in September 2005. And we here in almost in December 2022. And then I went back. Then I seen my family doctor a year later. He said to me, he said, man, you looking good. He said, how much weight you lost? I said, 119 pounds in 12 months. He said, you did this yourself? I said, yeah. I did it myself. Discipline. He said, that ain't you, that's God. Miracle. Yeah. So 2005, they was like 6 months, Mr. Anderson, I don't think your son will be here. So, can't nobody ever tell me what God can't do.
That's
ever.
Right.
Ever. Because I know, I seen my daddy go to dialysis for 17 years and drive himself back and forth. And once he get out of dialysis, come home and work in the garden. So people can't tell me what God can't do, but I just thank God for you. Dr. Banks, you're a living testimony. Keep that anointing and keep delivering people, man, because we need you, we honor you, we love you, and we thankful that you came on the 95 South podcast.
Amen. Thank y'all so much for having me. Thank you.
Yes. You helped me out spiritually today. I love this one, but yeah, like you said, you keep doing what you're doing, and how we can be there to help support, a team up or network, do whatever we got to do.
Yes.
We definitely want to keep in touch because we like-minded people, and we like to deal with people who, is about the kingdom and about God's work. So, we definitely like to, we know we're not perfect, but we at the same time, we can only do what we can do.
That's
so,
right.
So I wish you all the bless, and God bless you, and have a blessed rest of your day and weekend.
Amen. Thank y'all, and happy belated Thanksgiving. Amen.
Thank you. You as well.
Y'all be blessed. Thank you.
Right.
You as well.
Got the good vibes, got the 1942 pouring in my cup.